young talent, I think their voice matters more than my voice matters. I'm 56 years old. I'm going to see the fruits of a lot of the labor that I put in, but I'm really building a community for them, not for me.
The mindset of Topeka is like, it's very negative. Topeka's not fun. And I know you were very hardcore, like we've got to change this mindset.
It is kind of a national pastime to bag on whatever community that you live in, right? I told Wendy, there's going to be a day I'm going to be reading about Topeka, Kansas in the Wall Street Journal. And now we are. If what we're doing is helping people have a more prosperous life, that's what I'm most proud of.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome into Authentic Media Podcast. It's your host, Danielle J. Martin. Joining me today is a really good friend and mentor of mine, Matt Pivarnik, CEO and president of the Greater Topeka Partnership located here in Topeka, Kansas. Matt, welcome to the show.
Happy to be here.
So we are talking about what it's like to build an authentic brand. But essentially, I told Matt, I said, I know you essentially, like, you do own a business, like you own the whole chamber in like Topeka. So I know it was weird having him on here, but we're going to get into that. But first, I told him, I said, we have to address the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is that he recently is going to be starting a new chapter at Myrtle Beach, and he's going to be taking on the same role as CEO and president there. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm super excited for you, but also surprised and sad. I know before we started, I said to you, I didn't know if this was like a prank or not. I'm like, is this April Fool's? Like, what's going on? But no, congratulations. So I first want to ask you, how are you feeling about this transition?
It is, it's the most mixed emotions that I think I've ever had in my career. And the last nine and a half years in Topeka definitely has been the highlight of anything I've ever done in my career. Bittersweet. I've used those words a lot in the last couple of weeks. These things happen really fast, and so it's been an emotional roller coaster for Wendy and me. One of the things that I'm excited for the new opportunity, obviously, but it's not that season yet. Right now, it's the season of reflection. It's the season of just thinking about what we've all accomplished together, and so I love your authentic, the word authentic. And so I want to be super authentic with you. But one of the things I would just want to say is that these positions that I'm in, they're not made to last forever. They're not made we're not made to be in these positions forever. There's a season for them. And sometimes, self-reflection, self-awareness, looking in, conversations with my wife and with God and me is sometimes you look and just say, you know what, I know that it's time for somebody else to actually lead. Right. I mentioned last week that I've always been fascinated by the V formation that geese fly in. And I love the way they work together. And what's cool about the way geese fly is that goose in the front is doing a lot of the work. And they're taking on a lot of the draft and the heavy work. Yeah. But there comes a time when you will always see that lead goose will they'll get out of formation, they'll go back, and they'll let somebody else lead. And so really, I just feel like it's a season for somebody else to come in and take the helm and carry the momentum forward.
Well, another reason why I also wanted you to be on this podcast is I said, Matt, I know this is interesting because we always have like business owners on here and we have them share like what it's like to build a business brand. But I was like, I think you speaking on strategic leadership and how you've branded Topeka as a whole, even the Greater Topeka Partnership is very intentional. And so I told you before we started, I said, it's interesting because there's a lot of business owners that have teams that have to lead strategically and have to have like the brand mindset. And so when it came to, putting your foot forward and branding Topeka as a whole, what was some strategic thoughts that you had to go into when it came to making sure, even like the whole mindset around Topeka?
That's really,
like the mindset of Topeka is like, it's very negative. It's very, like daunting. Topeka's not fun. And I know you were very like hardcore, like we've got to change this mindset.
Yeah. It is kind of a national pastime to bag on whatever community that you live in, right? The roads, I mean, go to any city in America and ask anybody about their roads, ask anybody about their weather, ask anybody about what there is to do. I've lived in major cities, right? I mean, I spent some time in Houston, right? When I was in Houston, I bagged on Houston, you know, and now that I'm gone from Houston, I look back, I'm like, those were great days. I had some amazing things that happened in Houston. The self-loathing, though, I think it's pretty common. I think it was a little bit more common here than it was in a lot of communities that I had been in. And I always use Texas as my example. I'm like, if you go to Texas, you can go to the sorriest town in Texas. And if you say anything negative about them, they're going to fight you. As a matter of fact, they're so passionate about community there that they literally get tattoos, you know, on their calf of the state flag and stuff like that. So I always use Texas. I'm like, we have to have just a little bit more of that moxie. And I really felt like a lot of that has come back. I think that one of the things I think that was kind of a turning point is when our young professionals organization actually said, we're going to take control of this and we're going to create our own community flag and we're going to fly our flag with pride. I think that was a big turning point for the community. So, so I think the brand is, it's still evolving right now. I mean, we're one of the hottest housing markets, if not the hottest housing market in the United States. That's because so many people want to get in here. They want to live here. Now, good luck finding a house. Right. And we need more houses in this community. But the brand has definitely turned around, and people outside of the region are really starting to feel like that there's a lot going on in the community.
And can you even speak on, too, for people who may not know, as you were in this role as the CEO and president of the Greater Topeka Partnership, you know, what was the overall vision? And do you think like we're still paving that path?
Yeah. So interestingly, the partnership has only existed since 2018. And the reason it exists is because one of the things that we did is we said, if we're going to change the community, we have to have a strategy. And if we're going to have a strategy, let's go BHAG. Let's go big, right? So we went big. And that was Momentum 2022. And we looked at it and we're like, oh my gosh, this is so big. This is so aspirational, right? It's so aspirational. And then the community leaders had to ask themselves a question. Are we being too aspirational? Did we go too big? The answer is no, but who can implement this? And we didn't have an entity, an organization, or a group of organizations in the community that could actually be the backbone organization. What we had disparate organizations, right? Of course, we have a great city. We have a great county. We had the Chamber of Commerce and Go Topeka and Visit Topeka and Downtown Topeka Incorporated and all these different entities, but they were not working together, right? And they all had kind of their superpowers, right? So you think about superheroes, right? Superheroes are great, but when they all come together, they're literally more unstoppable. So what happened is that we had an outside consultant say, you guys actually cannot implement this strategy unless you adopt radical collaboration. And the way you're going to adopt radical collaboration is to bring all of these entities together under one collaborative organization so that you can all work together and work across aisles. And so that was the implementation part of a vision. We cast a vision that was too big. We didn't know how to handle it. But now we do.
Right. And now you guys have these values and systems in place. So like when people do move here, it's like immediately connect with, you know, the partnership, right? Get involved. If you don't know where to go, that's why Visit Topeka is around. So you can understand all of the tourist things of Topeka. So I think everything that you've done in Topeka, that's why I'm like, give yourself credit. Give yourself credit. You know, like we're in the direction because of the leadership you put in place, you know?
You know, I was thinking about that too, because last Thursday it was heartening and it was flattering to be thanked. The way that we've been thanked in the last couple of weeks has just been mind-blowing, right? Just mind-blowing. And I started thinking, why is it that I don't like to be thanked? And I think part of it is I think the metrics speak for themselves, right? So to me, that's where I get satisfaction out of seeing metrics actually move, and I seeing prosperity go up and poverty go down and net promoter score going up and things like that. And I'm just so hungry. I'm just so hungry to actually see the metrics move. That's thanks enough for me. And I almost feel like that I almost want to return the thanks. Instead of me being thanked so much, I just want to thank the community for giving me the opportunity to do this work.
And I was going to say, even going into the milestones you've made here, decade of being here, right? Probably more years than that. Because how long have you been in Topeka?
9.5 years.
9.5 years, nearly a decade. So talk to me about, what are you most proud of?
There's so many things. It's hard to pick. I mean,
Yeah.
people have asked me to actually talk about favorite projects, and
Yeah.
I won't do that. Just like I won't talk
'Cause
about
there's so many.
favorite part of town or anything like that. Even a favorite high school. I love them all. I love every high school student in this entire region.
Yeah.
But probably, I would say the creation of the partnership. I'm very proud of that. As a matter of fact, it's being replicated across the country. We're working with about 20 communities right now on how to create partnerships.
Yeah.
So that, not necessarily because I'm happy with the organization that we've created, but I'm happy with the ability to be able to address some of these issues and do that. So very proud of that.
Yeah.
I would say just the overall body of work. But for me, if there's one metric, because there's so many metrics, seeing median household income go up and seeing, I mean, just so many great metrics, net promoter score improve. But probably the one that means the most to me, and it's hard to celebrate because it's not where I want it to be,
Right.
but seeing poverty go down, right? And when poverty is going down, prosperity is going up, hope, health, happiness, and prosperity all going up at that time. So seeing poverty go down, but I struggle with celebrating a reduction in poverty because I still see that 12% of our community is still impoverished, right?
Yeah.
And so I can never really be happy and celebrate it until it's zero. And by the way, it probably never will be.
Right. Right.
But that one, I would say, that one just hits home. Like if what we're doing is helping people have a more prosperous life, that's what I'm most proud of.
I think one of the things I do love about you is that you have a very like goal-driven, high-spirited mindset that I think is essentially like your leadership style that gets people excited about what's coming in the future, you know? And so if you could talk to leaders, business owners about the type of leadership style, which is essentially your brand, when they see Matt Pivarnik come in the room, it's like there's a switch that goes off. Like, okay, we got to get ourselves together a little bit. Just a little bit. Like, we got to get professional, you know? Talk about the leadership style that you need to have to lead a team.
Team is so important. And I mean, again, back to me getting too much credit. Like I love to lean into my teammates, and not even the all-star teammates. Like everybody knows who Sean Dixon and Molly Howie and Bob Ross and Michelle Cuevas Stubblefield. Everybody knows they're like the superheroes, right? With all the superpowers. But behind them are all these people that are doing these amazing things. So that team is outrageously critical to me, to our senior leadership team, to our entire community.
Yeah.
For me, there's a couple of things. One is always do what's right for the community first.
That's good.
Even if it's not what's the best thing for me, or even if it's not the best thing for the Greater Topeka Partnership.
Yeah.
Always lean into the community and think about like that poster child that you have for that prosperity. The other thing too is, for me, it's integrity and ethics, like come first.
Yeah.
When I came to Topeka, I made that very clear. That's non-negotiable. And even in my first few months, I had a few things come my way that I didn't feel like were right, you know? So I just was like, wait, that's not ethical. That's not, there's not integrity in that. And those conversations went away very fast. They went by fast. And then the last thing I would say is just be super authentic.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here today and answer these questions or have this dialogue with you and tell you what I think you want to hear.
Yeah.
I just always want you to get the authentic Matt Pivarnik. I'm the same way with you that I am with my team.
Yeah.
And that I am with my family when I'm at home. I might be a little different with my grandkids because they can do no wrong.
Oh my gosh.
So.
Your cute, adorable grandkids.
Yeah.
Oh my
the
gosh.
most beautiful grandkids on the face of the earth.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
By the way, his granddaughter is my best friend.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Daughter-in-law. Did I say granddaughter?
Yeah.
You know what I meant. Okay, so what I'm really also interested in is talking about this whole we talked about it earlier, the myth of, the mindset that Topeka has, the Midwest mindset.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of people who may struggle with, let's say, a specific mindset in their business, in their team, and they're trying to work on shifting their team to a better mindset, right? And I think that the way that you think, I truly think leads you to where you are. Right. So it's
Yeah.
like you are like your life. I heard someone say before that your life is the result of your decisions, which goes based off of you think or how the way that you think. And so for you, how did you get your team or the people in, the Greater Topeka Partnership to, I guess, essentially think a certain way, encourage them a certain way? Like, what did that process
Yeah.
look like?
Well, and you're addressing like a growth mindset, right?
Yes.
And I'm 56 years old, right? I'm not as I'm not where I need to be yet, right? Every day I
Really?
wake up, I want to be better. Like
Yeah.
just always. I'm going to do that until I take my last breath.
Mm.
At the partnership, one of the things that we do that I think is really cool, and I really like this, is that we have our goals, right? We all have our goals. We have our
Yeah.
personal goals, and we also have our professional goals, and those are very well established and
Yeah.
very well documented, and they're smart, and we watch those very closely. We also have another document called our level up, and our level up is something that it's not something that you have to do, but
Right.
every one of our staff takes advantage of it. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But level up is like, okay, I know I have my goals, my professional goals, and my personal, but what am I going to do in 2025 or 2026 to take me, Matt Pivarnik, or me, one of my coworkers, to my next level? So what am I going to, it could be something personal or it could be something professional, but how am I going to get to the next level? And then what I'm asking you as my teammate is I'm asking you to support me in doing that taking me to that next level. I think that has been wildly successful. I do one, I share it with my leadership. All of our employees do a level up, and it's really cool. Sometimes it's work-life balance. Sometimes it's physical. So you just never know what it might be to get somebody their next level.
Yeah.
And I love, that plays into that growth mindset.
That's good.
And then the other thing too for us that's really cool, and I think this goes for all of our volunteers like you and our elected officials, is it actually is easy to get up on a Monday morning. We don't get Sunday blues, right? Because we know that when we get up on Monday morning, quite frankly, I think we work on it most of the time, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
We know that we're going to do something that's very altruistic and that's very impactful and it's actually going to change people's lives. And I kind of, in my mind, I have my own poster child. It's a little girl that lives in Montana. That's my why.
Yeah.
And so when I get up on Monday morning, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go make life better for her. And I think it's really cool to get up and just think about it that way.
Yeah.
And I think that gets us motivated.
Okay, so earlier I know you were talking about the numbers and how like that's important as well, but also you mentioned like the people are your why and like the people kind of get you driven and going. And so anyone who is focused on, their vision and trying to create strategy around that, that's why I go back to you and your team have worked very hard on the vision for Topeka and making sure the story is being told a certain way, reaching out to certain news outlets, making sure that certain news outlets are getting the story correct, right? And so talk to me about like the strategy behind that and why like branding the story a certain way is important.
I work with smart people and I work with aggressive people. But I will say this, one of the things that was really cool is when I was in Tulsa, we had a national PR firm, right? Not cheap, right? And so, and we had a PR firm in New York City. I knew that we needed one here. I just didn't know how I was going to ever fund it, right? And I remember when Cody Foster said, you know what I think that you guys need? You need a national PR firm. I'm like, we absolutely need a national PR firm. That has been very helpful. When I first met Topeka in 2014, I went home and I told Wendy, there's going to be a day, this is before I ever knew I was coming to Topeka, right? They came to Tulsa. There's going to be a day I'm going to be reading about Topeka, Kansas in the Wall Street Journal. And now we are, right? We're reading about Topeka, Kansas in pretty much every major media outlet. One, I think that's because of what we've done. And two, we've deployed some pretty darn good strategy into making sure that our story is being told out there with earned media as well.
Talk about attracting local talent. I think that was a strategy as well,
Yeah.
right? Making sure that Topeka is attractive
Yep.
and like going back to making sure the story around the brand is being told,
Right.
you know, correctly, or even keeping the students from Washburn
Yep.
here in Topeka. Like, what was that strategy like?
Yeah, and that's something that we never can stop working on that, right? I mean, you got it has to be a cool place. It just has to be a cool place.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you feel like that you've arrived, then you have to take on this new mindset of we have not arrived. We can be cooler, we can be better.
Yeah.
And it's attracting and retaining, like, not having leakage. I think our young professionals organization's been good. I mean, one of the things I'm so proud of that this community did, and I really compliment our mayor, Dela Isla at the time, and the city,
Yeah.
because most of the time cities want to take control of their brand and they want to take, especially their community flag, right? They just turned it over to Forge Young Talent, and they just let Forge run with the creation of the flag. I think that was very brave, right? But it also showed that Forge has ownership in this community, and they can make a difference. But we can never let up on that. We
Right.
have to continue, even the original Forge leadership. I think they're getting a little long in the tooth now, right?
Yeah.
So we have to be looking at that next generation. What's the next generation? Well, I think we should be asking eighth graders, ninth graders.
Oh my gosh, yes.
What do you want your community to be when you are a young adult, and the chances of retaining them?
So you can keep them here.
Absolutely.
You know, it's interesting. So a lot of people know that I work for Advisors Excel, right? And so it's interesting. You said it a little bit earlier. I don't know if you noticed it, but it's like we can't settle in thinking we won, right? Like we got to keep the grit. And so right now, like Cody and Dave, like that's been our motto lately is that like we can't think that we've arrived.
Yeah.
Like we're really just getting started. But it's like internally as we're looking at the goals, we're like, but we've made we've completed the goal, we're done. And it's like, no, we're actually just getting started. So I think it's interesting how being strategic and branding yourself, it sounds like it's always a growth mindset, thinking that like, we're moving forward. We got to figure out like, okay, how do I continue this momentum and not settle in? We've just arrived.
One of the things I love about those guys, they're amazing guys. I heard one of them say one time like 15% year over year annual growth is getting kind of boring. I'm like, I love that.
Oh my God.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because most organizations, companies would love to have 15% growth year over year. And I actually offended some people here because when things started really feeling good, right? Really feeling good. I had a few people who are like, hey, now that we've basically arrived, so now what do we do? I'm like, no. Like the second that you have a growth mindset and you hit another rung on that ladder, it's time to look at the next rung and just never, ever, ever be satisfied. But here's the thing, you have to do that because every community in America, they're trying to clean our clock, right? They want our talent. They want our Washburn students, right? They want KU and K-State students. They want that talent.
Right.
We want that talent too.
Yeah.
And it's a metric too. I mean, it's a means to a economic end. We have to have that talent as well.
Yeah.
So
your brand deserves more than just a selfie. It deserves a vision captured perfectly. Hi, I'm Danielle J. Martin, and I'm here to help you create a visual identity that creates a lasting impression. So whether you're launching a business or you're enhancing your presence or you're rebranding, your photos are your first impression. So our brand photo shoots aren't just for you to take pretty pictures, but they're for you to tell your story, build trust, and connect with your audience in a whole different way. So if you're ready to elevate your brand that creates a lasting impression, go ahead and click that link down below.
Okay, so I want to give you another opportunity too to brag about the development of Topeka. Talk about like where Topeka was and where it's at now.
Okay.
Like even like the different businesses, the new projects that are coming.
I would say this, I mean, and I don't want to be disparaging at all, but Topeka had flatlined. It really had flatlined.
Yeah.
And its trajectory is just now it's unstoppable. Like people keep saying you're sort of placating us right now the last 2 weeks saying that Topeka's best days are ahead. They are 100% ahead.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like that our businesses are succeeding. We have one of the most resilient through the pandemic, we were like the top 10 most resilient cities in America.
Yeah.
Our year over year wage growth in the entire United States, we are the seventh best year over year wage growth. We have the second lowest poverty in the state of Kansas. Like we are literally behind Johnson County.
Right.
So we're literally moving in the great direction. So,
Yeah.
but now it's just take that success, take that momentum, and just ride it. So that development, I mean, new jobs, growing our own. I mean, we talk
Right.
about Advisors Excel.
Yeah.
The kitchen table, right? I mean, that was an entrepreneurial startup.
Literally.
That's what's cool about where we're sitting right now.
Yeah.
Omni Circle Group is we're so focused on that startup. So
Right.
the sky's the limit. It really is the limit.
And eventually, like, we're going to be seeing a whole river walk here soon, you know? And so it's like seeing the development of that, seeing co-working spaces coming down the line, economic development, you know, in our city is rising as we speak. And so even if you could, I know you're leaving, but it's like, if you could encourage like why people should move here, what's your reason?
So I always say this is my mantra. It's easy to live in this cool place, right? It's not easy to live everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? Like when I lived in Houston, I lived 7 miles from the office. That was an hour, 15 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
You know, to get 7
Driving
miles.
everywhere.
Yeah, it's easy to live in this cool place. And I think now people are actually looking for cool places to live that's not just a major ordeal to get from one place to the other. Or the fact that we have more sunny days than most communities. I'm going to Myrtle Beach. I mean, there's the same number of sunny days here as there are in Myrtle Beach, right? We have the cleanest air, right, in the United States. Out of 400 cities, like we have the cleanest air.
Right.
You can see blue skies here. I mean, there's just so much. And you can actually, here's the really cool thing about people moving here or staying here. Here, your efforts will make a difference. Go to a major metro. There's no way that your efforts are actually ever going to make a difference. But here, no matter if you're a young professional, if you're retired or somewhere in between, you can roll up your sleeves and get involved, and you can actually change this community and help make it what you want it.
I love that. And let's even talk about for the next generation of leaders that are coming, that are in process of leading a team, trying to figure out how to become better, trying to figure out how to become more strategic so their business can grow and scale. What advice would you give them, you know, as you're an active leader yourself? What's some advice that I know you and your friend talk about every morning?
Their voice matters. As a matter of fact, I think their voice matters more than anybody. So like young talent, either somebody just starting in their career or even younger than that, I think their voice matters more than my voice matters. I'm 56 years old. I can work my head off and I'm going to see the fruits of a lot of the labor that I put in, but I'm really building a community for them, not for me. And so I think as a community, we need to be better about tapping into that talent and tapping into their vision. But that younger talent, they need to understand that their voice matters so much and they have an opportunity to really take control of their future in their community. So just jump in and don't be afraid of being around old people and Xers. Yeah, just jump in, get involved. You did. When you got here.
I did.
And
Surprisingly. Thank you.
You made a difference.
I appreciate that. I wasn't expecting to stay here that long, but that just goes to show you, you know, how amazing Topeka is and how it's become. But I think it's interesting, like going back home to Houston. I love it. I love seeing my family and everything. But there's something about coming back to Topeka where I'm like, it's home. And there is this really cool just factor in like everywhere you go, you know someone. You're going to run into somebody.
You know what else is really cool? And this was, Wendy and I struggled when we first came here. We were worried because we were used to living in bigger cities. The comfort of having Kansas City right down the road and it's nice. And so we like going to Kansas City for our big city fix and then getting back here. It's really cool. And we go a lot less than I think we thought we were going to. We stay home a lot. You know, but it is nice. I mean, if I were 4 hours from Kansas City, I would struggle. But knowing it's just right over there.
You're like, you're good.
It's awesome. I always say Kansas City's our suburb.
I like it. And it's like you said, it's not far. So you have no excuse to like entertain yourself. So, okay. So before we started, you were talking about, you went through this like reflection period. I'm really curious about what that process was like. And was there something in you that was like, I think I'm like looking for more or I want change? I don't know. But like, tell me about that.
Yeah. So again, that's been really difficult. That's been the hardest part about this is knowing when it's time, when it's time for you to maybe let somebody else lead. I think part of it is this. I have felt in the last couple of years that maybe I have too much influence in the community, right? And it actually replace the word influence with power, right? And power is not always healthy and it's not always good. And I noticed that as I gained more influence, there was more of a, you know what, we're just going to let Matt handle that, right? And what I started feeling is that I was really operating a little bit more in a silo, and we might have been losing a little bit of the bigger team approach. I think one, it's flattering that the community had that much trust in me.
Yeah.
But two things. One is one or two or three or four people. I always think 1,000 people are better than four, right?
Right.
And so part of it is just that influence. The second thing I would say is when you have that much influence, it's a lot of pressure,
Yeah.
right? And also, it's not exactly healthy either, right? So part of it is that I was the lead goose. I'm
Yeah.
the one taking on all the headwinds, all the air.
Wow.
It was really just time for me to say, I'm going to go, I'm going to be in the back, and I'm going to let somebody else lead going forward. So that's part of that reflection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
That was good.
Thank you.
What are you looking forward to in this new chapter? Because this is going to be a big transition for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to go dive into my new community. I love community development. I just love it so much. Like, because I know that we're changing lives, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go dive in and be part of a big team, right? I'm just going to be part of a big team.
Yeah.
Radical collaboration, really work together. But I'm also going to have what I call FOMO. Or even JOMO, the joy of missing out. But the joy is not going to be because I'm having the joy of missing out. It's going to be because I'm going to be missing out.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have the joy of watching Topeka succeed in such a radical way.
Yeah.
And I'm still going to have family here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make it a point to come and visit my family when really big announcements and cool things are happening in Topeka.
That was going to be my follow-up. I was like, are you going to come visit at all?
Yes,
Which
I
I
am.
already know the answer is yes. But
And then everybody from Topeka is going to come visit me in Myrtle Beach.
we'll just take a huge bus, just go down there, I guess. So
Or come one
One at a
one
time.
family at a time. Yeah. So, but an inner city visit. Yeah. Inner city visit,
Oh my gosh, that's fun. Oh my gosh, Matt. Okay. As we close, I'm curious from a leadership perspective, talk to me about how do you grow as a leader? What are some books or podcasts that you listen to? How do you keep your mind sharp?
Yeah. Well, for me, I would just say my morning routine is absolutely the most critical thing that I have going on. There's a couple of books, Miracle Morning, 5 a.m. Club.
Yeah.
But I've not always been a morning person, but I think one of the luxuries in life is quiet mornings and having time to yourself and having time for reflection, having time for prayer before you get into the crazy time of the day, right?
Yeah.
So that's really important. I have workout time, I have reading time, I have spiritual time in the mornings, and I just highly recommend that to anybody. And then the other thing too is just never. So some books right now. I mean, there's so many. Oh my, so many. I would say Strength to Strength is probably one of the best books that I've read in the last 3 years,
Okay.
and it's a really cool book because it talks about our different strengths at different times in our lives.
Yeah.
And I just think it's really. I would recommend that book to anybody, and it's a must read to anybody. I would say 38 or older.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet.
I know you're not, but
it's fine.
but you could get ahead
I
of
just
it.
became an adult, in case you heard.
You could get ahead of it.
I just came to they call it, someone told me the other day, they're like, welcome to the third floor. I was like, ooh, I like that.
The
I
third
was like,
floor.
okay, it's nice up here.
I love it.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Okay, so as we come to a close, talk to me about any last minute reflection thoughts that you want to say to the community, or just some reflection ideas and thoughts that have been in your mind lately.
Yeah. We call it momentum for a reason, and momentum doesn't stop. It has to keep going. So the faith I have in this community going forward, I've given a guarantee that Topeka's best days are ahead.
Yeah.
Right. The last 9.5 years have just been spectacular,
Yeah.
right? And all of these people who think I've done it by myself, I think most people know that it's just been just great collaboration, this big group effort. So to me, it's just keep this momentum going. Like, do that as a favor to Topeka, do that as a favor to me. For me, my wise, that little girl,
Yeah.
do it as a favor to her because she's going to grow up and be happier and more prosperous because of it. So
Yeah.
this has been a rough couple weeks, but the next couple are going to be even tougher. But the happiness is going to come that I get to still see Topeka succeed from afar,
Yeah.
and be helpful from afar as well. So it's been a heck of a ride, a special ride.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say thank you for your service. Thank
Yeah.
you for your leadership. And thank you for just not giving up on the community, honestly.
Well, likewise to you. You've been an electrifying leader in the community, and so more people like you,
I
and we're going to
appreciate
be
that.
just fine.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you for your time, Matt.
Thank you.
Oh my
Appreciate you.
gosh.
Thanks for watching the Authentic Media Podcast YouTube. At Authentic Media Company, our mission is to help you develop an authentic brand so you can make the impact that you are called to make. If you got anything from today's episode, make sure you drop a comment down below. I'm interested to see what your takeaways are. And if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel so you can be the first to know when we drop our newest episode. In the meantime, have a great day.